What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dee Hankins Show, where we talk about life, help you with your curveballs, and celebrate your home runs. My name is Dee Hankins, and we are starting to walk into the deep end of physical resilience. In last episode, we laid the groundwork for physical resilience being your body's ability to recover from stress and physical harm. Today, we dive into the one single non-negotiable factor in recovery, which is sleep. Sleep is one of those things that we have been conditioned to sacrifice. As a matter of fact, sometimes we wear it as a badge of honor. You ever come across somebody that's like, sleep? What is that? I'm too busy to sleep. I'll sleep when I die. Sleep is the cousin of death. If you sleep, you're lazy. You hear this all the time. This culture is so backwards. In a culture that demands focus, productivity, and effort, they sure take people's one thing that can guarantee all of those, that trifecta of focus, effort, and productivity, they'll surely strip it away. So I'm here to get our power back, to get that control, to gain control of your sleep back, because it's not a badge of honor. I'm telling you, constantly running on E is both unhealthy and degrading to your physical resilience across all of your core four. When you lose sleep, you are losing the factory reset and the maintenance work that's crucial to your day-to-day life. So here we go. Episode 11, Sleep, the ultimate act of resilience. Let's get into it. Now, most of us think sleep is a luxury, and it isn't. It's a necessity, which is crazy because, like I said before, you have some really major places that require you to be sharp, that require you to be on point, yet they're willing to keep you long hours. They're willing to have you drive these long hours and just steal your sleep. And those two don't go hand in hand, right? Sleep is not a luxury. And so for anybody that comes screaming in your face talking about you're lazy because you sleep and you get your 8 hours and must be nice to have 8 hours of sleep, don't listen to those people. You're doing your body an absolute favor. And I'm telling you this from personal experience. So one of my weaknesses, if I had to choose a weakness, it is sleep. As a matter of fact, it's ironic that I'm doing this episode because the last 2 weeks I have been sleeping poorly. And guess what? These last 3 days, I have been sick. I'm barely getting better. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. Well, I'm getting better, but I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. However, you know what helped me besides my concoction of lemon, ginger, and honey? Sleep. I've gotten more sleep in these last 3 days than I've gotten in the last 2 weeks. And I have recovered very, very, very quickly. I started to feel something on, I think, Friday or Thursday or Friday. And I just slept. I rested. I drank my tea. And I'm feeling good. My energy's back. I'm feeling good, which gets me into this next segment, okay? Sleep is a period of active maintenance. It's when your body performs its biological processes to help you manage the stress of the next day. If you skip sleep, you fail two very critical functions. And a lot of this I've just learned, but listen up, okay? Number one, hormone regulation, all right? Your body has this stress system. Sleep is essential for resetting your cortisol levels. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone. When you are sleep deprived, your body produces higher levels of cortisol, putting you in a constant low-grade state of fight or flight. In other words, you're a walking zombie of irritable, anxious and overreactive energy. Think about this. Me and my kids, we love to run around the house. We love to play. We love to tickle each other and just punch each other and all that. Like me and my son, we always play fighting and things like that. When I'm in a good mood, it's all fun and games. When I'm stressed, anxious, and irritable and I overreact to minor things, that does not become fun anymore. I overreact and I start to snap on my kids. Tell me you've been there before. You're tired. You just came home. Your energy level's at an all-time low. And you got 3, 4 kids running at you, asking you all these questions. The first thing you do is like, wait a minute. You wouldn't normally do that. You only do that when those cortisol levels are high because the lack of sleep. Sleep literally calms. Isn't that such a nice word? Calm. Say that with me. Calms. Sleep literally calms the stress circuits in your brain. So do not lack sleep. Number 2, physical repair. Another thing your body does when you're sleeping, it produces the human growth hormone. This growth hormone is responsible for crucial maintenance. I remember when I first started my fitness journey, shout out to my first trainer, Amy Davis, the legend, the GOAT. Amy would get on me about sleep. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. She was constantly on me. Like I said, sleep is my number one weakness. If I was a superhero, sleep would be my kryptonite. Okay, I sleep terrible. But she would always say 7 hours of sleep, 6 at the bare minimum, but try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night. This is going to help you with your fitness. And at first I didn't understand until, I started doing this research that every time you go to the gym, every time you walk, when you're on the computer typing all day, anytime you're using your muscles and your muscles get sore and things like that, you have created little tears in your muscles. You have damaged your body, okay? Sleep and that growth hormone repairs your body. It fixes all the cracks, bruises, scrape, all of those things happen when you are sleeping. That growth hormone repairs damaged tissues. It helps with your immune system and replenishes your energy stores, your depleted energy stores. Now, it's ironic. I haven't been sleeping for these last 2 weeks. I haven't even been anywhere. I've been in my studio and at the house. I just been back and forth. I haven't been around like a bunch of people. I just haven't been anywhere. It's just my body's immune system was so damaged that whatever little thing was trying to kill me almost succeed. Well, it's not. I'm over exaggerating, but I got sick. And I'm sitting there like, how the heck did I get sick? I haven't done anything. I haven't been anywhere. But it's because I haven't been able to sleep and my body hasn't been able to repair itself, which makes sense, right? Because if you don't sleep, your body cannot repair itself from the fatigue of yesterday, making you less resilient to the fatigue of today. So I don't know if this has happened to you, but have you ever been on vacation or maybe had the weekend off or a 4-day weekend, and after that 4-day weekend or after that vacation, you felt like nothing happened? You know why? Because your body's trying to catch up. You had 4 days off, but your body's six weeks behind, 2 weeks behind, 7 days behind. So that 3 days off, even though you had 3 days off, less stress, you're still 4 or 5 days behind. That's why it's so hard for people to catch up. And everybody knows somebody who's consistently tired all of the time. Outside of medical conditions, they're consistently sluggish and tired and just moving slow all of the time. And that is why your body is in catch-up mode. You're not sleeping, okay? You need sleep. Don't neglect it. To build physical resilience, you have to treat sleep as an important my choice. You have to put sleep in the my choice bucket. It cannot be a luxury. It has to be a necessity. You have to change your mindset, and this is how you take control of your physical resilience. You start to say, I need my sleep. Isn't it so funny that when we were kids, we didn't want to nap, complained and cried about naps, and now, dude, I would pay somebody to take a nap. I love taking naps. Give me a 20-minute nap, a 30-minute nap. I love taking naps. As a matter of fact, I've had this idea forever. Don't steal my idea. Still intellectual property of Dee Hankins and the Dee Hankins Show. I had this idea of a nap pod, and I want it to be at Disneyland, low key. And this is my idea. You create this pod. It could be maybe two separate. Before, I don't know. I got to get into if you're out there and you know how to build stuff and code and all that other stuff, holla at me. We're going to build this together, and we're going to make millions together, okay? A sleep pod. Basically, you just go in, you set a timer for 30 minutes. That gives you 10 minutes to go to sleep. You get a 20-minute nap. There's this calming alarm that pops up when the time is done, right? The door's open. They close for like maybe 2 more minutes to kind of sanitize itself. And then the next person comes in. Sleep pod. You just take a quick nap, and then you're up and you're at it again. That's my idea. So again, don't steal my idea. Sleep pods coming to a mall, a theme park, a county fair near you, because that's when I need it most. The most mind-blowing part of why sleep is an act of resilience is its ties to mental resilience. Now, this is a segment that we're going to talk about, in a couple episodes from now, but I want to bring it here because it has a direct link to mental resilience. And here's how. And to be honest with you, I didn't even know this. This is brand new information to me as I'm doing this research. But during the day, as your brain works, it produces metabolic waste like carbon dioxide and toxic proteins called amyloid beta or something like that. Amyloid beta, amyloid beta. I don't know, something like that. But I didn't even know this. Anyway, this amyloid beta, I'm going to call it AB, is linked to Alzheimer's. And it's crazy because I was doing research on this because I was watching The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, and Dr. Connors is talking about, using genetics from animals that can regenerate, and they were talking about Alzheimer's and things like that. I was just like, oh, Alzheimer's, sleep, all this other stuff. And I found out that they're linked, which is crazy to me, okay? So check this out. Your brain produces trash. When you use your brain produces trash. Now, your brain has its own self-cleaning system called the glymphatic system. This is how it works. Your glymphatic system opens up channels along your blood vessels and pumps cerebral spinal fluid. I know I'm using all these big words, but just stay with me. Cerebral spinal fluid through these channels, essentially flushing out all of the toxins, all of the dirt, all of the trash. It's like power. Your brain has its own power washing systems. And when you sleep, these power washers come through in their veins. It's like Inside Out. In Inside Out, when Riley goes to sleep and you see all these people with the hard hats on and they're removing waste and the little orbs go to where they need to be and people are storing them and cleaning them up and taking the trash out and all this stuff. That really happens in your brain. I mean, there's no, people in there, but still, that's a really entertaining way to show what happens in the brain. Isn't your body incredible? This is nuts. And I'm thinking like, wow, I've never thought about that. So research shows that the glymphatic system, that actually sounds like a Pokemon. Anyway, research shows that the glymphatic system is 10 times more active when you are sleeping. That's crazy. 10 times more active when you are sleeping than when you're awake. And it works best during deep REM sleep. I did not know that. And now that I think about it, I know a few people that have suffered from Alzheimer's, and it's tough to see. It's tough to see. If you can relate to that or you know somebody, it's tough to look at your mom and she doesn't know who you are, or your grandpa, or your dad, or your uncle, or it's tough to do that. And so this is why I'm like, dude, take your sleep serious. Take control of your sleep. As a matter of fact, they say that 17 hours of being awake is equivalent to a point zero 0.05 blood alcohol level, like a DUI, point zero 0.05 blood alcohol level. 24 hours of being awake is equivalent to a 0.10% blood alcohol level. You're going to jail. If you have that in your system, you're going to jail. In most states, you're going to jail. That's considered driving under the influence, man. And so, like, I even hate to share this story, but just to be real and transparent with you all, I remember I was extremely tired and I was driving and I just running around, just doing stuff. I didn't sleep well the night before. I had to wake up early. And like I said, just not sleeping well. Anyway, I am here today by the grace and mercy of God Almighty. And I say that with the most genuine, like, adoration, okay, and seriousness. So I was driving on the 210 freeway. My son was knocked out in the back and going 65 down the 210 east, going 65 miles an hour towards the 210 west in the fast lane. All of a sudden, maybe a half a mile up, everything just came to a complete stop. I dozed off and I woke up just in time. I'm not kidding you. I woke up just in time to slam on my brakes and swerve to the right. If there was a car on my right side, we would have hit that. It would have been bad. If I didn't wake up, I would have smacked this car in front of me at 65 miles an hour with my son in the back. Okay. If there was a car on the right of me, I would have sideswiped this car and God knows what would have happened. And I think about that, man. And that's still, like, it gives me, oh man, I don't know if you've ever been into like close to a car accident. Something happens. You get this rush of adrenaline and you feel it surge through your system. It's crazy how the way it feels. And you feel it from, like, your toes all the way up your body, through your arm, through your head. You feel this surge of adrenaline. And I feel that every time I think about it. And I thank God every day, man. That would have been so bad. All because the lack of sleep. I was only going, I live to my office, or his school actually, is only 5 miles from where we live, if that, and it was just so bad, y'all. So take your sleep serious, okay? There have been many people that have fallen asleep behind the wheel and died. So take control of your life. Take your sleep very serious. Ultimately, if you skimp on your sleep, you're leaving trash in your brain. And that trash is going to lead to mental fog, poor focus, slow reaction time, just like I had, on that day of driving. And there's so many more times where I just didn't prioritize my sleep and did all that. And so think about this. Let's say you got a family of 4 and everyone went to the bathroom one after the other and just took a poop, left the door open, and didn't flush it for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. What would your house smell like? What mood would you be in, right? So we don't want that. We want to get the trash out. We want to get the waste out. Your body has an automatic system to do that. But in order for it to do it, you need to do your part in going to sleep and prioritizing your sleep. All right. So we'll be right back. As you know, my passion is to help people build resilience, and it's a journey I've been on my entire life. That's why I created the Dee Hankins At Best Student Development Program. I started the program because I once was a student facing major curveballs, and I want to show students that they have a chance at a successful future no matter their background. We empower students with a 6-step framework called Win Your Challenges. And we build a network of support between students and parents and caring adults in their lives. If you're a parent, educator, or administrator and want to learn more about how we build bridges and transform school communities, I invite you to visit my website, deehankins.com. That's DeeHankins.com to learn more about how you can bring the At Best program to your school. All right, y'all, welcome back. Now, remember, anytime we do this podcast, we're not focused on perfection. So we're not shooting for the perfect sleep routine. We're aiming for consistent quality. This is what they call, people in the world, they call this sleep hygiene. So I want to help you focus on 3 things that you can do to take full responsibility, full control, and absolute responsibility of your sleep. All right, let's hop into it. Number 1, consistency. Okay, consistency. Pick a bedtime and stick with it. Pick a bedtime, pick a wake up time. I told y'all in the last episode I was going to, recommend apps. I was going to recommend just different things, different strategies, practical tools that you can use. And I'm going to keep saying this, sleep is my vice. So this is what I started doing. My goal is to sleep from around 10 and wake up at 5, which reminds me, there's this great book called The 5 a.m. Club. If you haven't read it, it's written in like novel form, I think, story form. And so it's a self-help book, but it's written in story form. Like you could make a movie out of it. Read it or listen to it. Listen to it on Audible. The 5 a.m. Club, okay? There's something magical that happens when you wake up at 5 a.m. And I'm not talking about day 1. Day 1, you're dog tired. Day 2, you're dog tired. Day 3, you're dog tired. Day 4, you're getting a little used to it. By week 2, bro, waking up at 5 a.m. has been the most productive I've ever been in my life. I've had the most energy I've ever had in my life, just consistently waking up at 5 p.m. I think I did it for like a couple months straight, just waking up at 5. Man, there's so many things that you can get done before you even go to work. Like if you work a 9 to 5, but you wake up 4 hours earlier than you're supposed to get to work, and you get like take care of menial tasks, or as the book suggests, you take care of your most important task. So I've said this before, but I have 4 major goals that I try to reach. One is hit my nutrition goal. Another one is Spanish lesson. Another one is workout. And the other one is to write in my book. By the time, when I used to wake up at 5, because I've been slacking, but when I used to wake up at 5 in the morning, by the time 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock hit, all of my major goals were done. So the rest of the day was kind of just like little stuff. And so by the time it got to bedtime, I had nothing else that I needed to do. Nothing was on my mind about, I didn't finish this project and so on and so forth, which we'll talk about that in the next segment. So now my target bedtime is 10 o'clock. My target wake up time is 5 a.m. The problem with when I set that was I noticed I was always on my phone doing some things. So now Samsung, for instance, has what they call routines, meaning I'm able to set a routine for bedtime starting at 10, ending at 5. And what I've done is gone to the extreme. At 10 o'clock, I black out every single app that is not useful. So Instagram, TikTok, all the social media apps, just all the email apps. I don't answer emails after 10 because I can't. So if you reach out to me at 10 o'clock via email, you are not going to get an answer because I can't. It's blocked out. No notifications, no nothing. Now, I do keep a few things on, like I said, YouTube or my First Form app, a couple other little things, just because sometimes I'm at the gym. Sometimes I'm hooping and it's past 10 and I still want to be able to listen to music like Spotify, or as I, wind down, I want to be able to listen to stuff, or if I need to look up something on YouTube, so on and so forth, I'll keep that open. But that's what I've done. So routines, if you have an Android, if you have a Samsung, you can create a routine to help you get into bedtime. Now, it takes some discipline. It takes some mental strength to be able to just, black out your whole, it's grayed out, but grayed out your whole phone with only the boring, only the boring stuff, right? None of the fun stuff, but it helps me sleep. Okay. So first thing is consistency. You pick a bedtime, you pick a wake up time, and you try to hit that mark. The reason why this is important is because if you consistently hit your mark, you regulate what we call the circadian rhythm. That rhythm is your internal clock. So I'll give you an example. If you work a regular 9 to 5 and you've been working this regular 9 to 5 for years and years, chances are you don't even need your alarm clock, right? And chances are when it's time for bedtime, you really start to feel it. This is because your body, which is incredible, starts to produce melatonin without the gummy, without the pill, without, the drink or none of that stuff. It starts to produce this in your body automatically towards your bedtime, making it easier for you to fall asleep, starting the whole repair process, the cleaning process, the maintenance process, so you can wake up on time. Now, I've done this before. When I was going to bed consistently, I would oftentimes wake up, and sometimes I'd feel like I was late, right? Oh, shoot, I forgot my alarm clock. I'd wake up, and I'd have like 2 minutes before my alarm clock went off or 10 minutes before my alarm clock went off. That is a healthy circadian rhythm. Being able to go to sleep with ease and being able to wake up with ease and energy. So being consistent in your bedtime and your wake up time will help with your circadian rhythm. And man, it does wonders for you for the next day. Number 2, the wind down. Research shows 60 minutes before your target bedtime is when you need to start winding down, when you need to start tapering things down. Now, this works wonders for babies. My wife has done a fantastic job with our youngest one. She has this app which tells, when we feed her, when nap time's coming up, all these things. Now, do we need apps to tell us when to put our babies down? No, naturally we can tell. However, she's busy, I'm busy, it helps. At this point, anything can help. At this point in my age, dog, anything can help. I'm not complaining about anything. Say what you want. We got apps, right? And it has worked amazingly. Our child goes to bed on the dot most of the time. The only time she doesn't go to bed during her target bedtime is when we're out doing things. All right. When we just went to Disneyland a couple weeks ago. And so we got home past her bedtime. And so we have to adjust. But this app helps because it suggests when nap time is going to be as we calculate this new bedtime. And it has worked wonders. Okay. So winding down. Now, during the reason why I bring that up is because we know her bedtime is going to be between 7 p.m. and 7:30, no questions asked. So we start our wind down at around 5:30. I know this is before the 60-minute, but we eat dinner at 5:30. Hop in the bath for a good, 20 minutes, just kind of playing and so on and so forth. Okay. We get out the bath, we change into our PJs, we let her run around in her room, but with a purpose. Okay. We're cleaning up, we're picking out books that we want to read. So by the time 7 o'clock hits, man, this girl is fed, she's bathed, and she's ready to call it a day. Right. So we'll read a book, she'll lay down, and it's a wrap. No problems. Meanwhile, I got other friends who struggle. Kids awake at midnight, watching TV with their dad, like smacking them, yo, go get me a beer, dog. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing. But still, right? Get your kids on a routine. And we'll talk about that in a second as well. However, wind down. So for adults, what is your wind down? Okay. And the wind down is getting away from your screens, whether the TV, whether the computer, whether the phones, because it's researched that blue light from these devices block melatonin. So it's An alternative is to read an actual book. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Read a book. Get off the internet. Read an actual book that has factual information and actual pages. And if you're not down with the whole book thing, get a Kindle. There's so much technology right now in Kindles. I think there's one called the Paperwhite. No blue light, feels like a real book, moves, all this other stuff. If you want to be digital and all that other stuff, there's ways to do it. So pick a book, do music, do some light stretching. Okay. I don't know if kids are listening to this right now, cover your ears. I don't know if sex is one of them, but I don't know about y'all, but when I get it in, it's a rollover and I'm knocked out. So I don't know what kind of melatonin burst is being released during that time, but give me a good book, a light stretch, some bang bang, and I'm out for the night. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if y'all like that, but Dee Hankins is like that. I know that's personal, but I'm just saying. So you could add that into your wind down as well, unless you're like Tarzan and Jane with it, and I don't know. I don't want to know about all your personal, intimate life, but for me, boom, 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 call it a day. Right? So those are things that you can do 60 minutes before your target bedtime. All right. Number 3, the temperature choice. So research also shows that you want to make your room cooler. The target temperature is like 65 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that, right? But the body's natural process for sleep is to cool down. And this makes me think of my brother, Ricky, and my sister, Corey, who would literally sleep. This could be the middle of December. This dude would have the window open. He'd have like 2-3 fans blowing directly on him. Forget 65 degrees Fahrenheit. It was like 30 degrees below zero in his room. Same thing with my sister. My sister would have the window open. She'd have like 4 fans just blowing on her. She'd have the AC on, but yet she'd have like 50 blankets and a freaking, 100 pillows just covered. You literally have to get an excavation tractor just to get this woman out of her bed. That's crazy, but that's how cold it was. I think of hospitals. Hospitals have low temperature not only to, delay the growth of bacteria, but it has this calming effect to get your body temperature down, okay, to go to sleep. Now, some of y'all may be in places where you don't have the neighborhood to leave your windows open at night, or the funds to leave the AC running at 65 degrees Fahrenheit, or things like that. So I understand that, and fans work wonderful, or take a cold shower. All right, and we'll be right back. What's up, everyone? I'm excited to announce the launch of my brand new podcast, The Dee Hankins Show. But it isn't just about me. I want you to be a part of it too. I'm looking for your stories for 2 brand new segments. First up, Curveball Corner. If you have a situation or problem that you're dealing with, send in your story and I'll give you my best advice. Then we have Home Run Highlights for those moments of pure, undeniable success, like paying off your student loans, landing a new job, or buying a house. So, you ready to be on the show? Head to the link in my bio right now and share your story with me. I can't wait to hear from you. All right, y'all, welcome back. Remember, sleep is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And in order to take full responsibility and absolute control over your physical resilience, you have to prioritize sleep, and you have to prioritize it today. So remember, you need sleep to regulate your emotions. You need sleep to get out of the fog. You need sleep to be clear, to be focused. And if your job is demanding that you be energetic, that you be focused, and you be ready to go, well, you're going to need sleep. And you may have to negotiate a job if they're asking you to do something, but not giving you the resources to do those things, which is sleep. If they're keeping you long hours, if they're making you drive all over the place and not giving you the adequate rest, then they're being hypocritical in their demands for you. Okay. So I want you to think about those things. And for the other tips that we talked about was, the bedtime, the my choices, bedtime, wake up time, be consistent, 60-minute wind down and then cool your body down temperature. Take a cold bath, put some fans on, lower the house temperature just so you can sleep good. All right, y'all. So now it's time to get to my favorite sections, curveball corner and home run highlights. And this week, we don't have any, but that's all right. Actually, I have one, and I hit y'all with a highlight last time. I'm gonna hit you guys with a curveball this time, and like I said, I'm gonna be transparent. My sleep sucks, and my body caught up to me, and I got sick these last 3 days, and I can't stress this enough. Dee Hankins cannot afford to be sick because I speak for a living. This is my money maker, and I need to protect it at all costs. And I've been extremely negligent with that by not getting the proper sleep. I can't imagine being booked for an event, and I cannot do my event because I did not make the proper decisions to take care of what brings me money. So this has to be a priority for me. My health has to be a priority for me, meaning that sleep has to be a priority for me, which reminds me, in the next 4 episodes, because sleep sucks for me, I'm going to do this with you all together. So what I want to do is I'm going to track my sleep every week for the next, until we finish our physical resilience, track my sleep, track my nutrition, track my movement, just so I can do this with you, which opens up the gate for me to hear from you. I want to hear from you all, okay? So if you're gonna go on this journey with me, holla at me, whether it's a curveball, hey, I'm not good at sleeping, my diet sucks, or so on and so forth. Holla at me. I want to hear from you. Maybe you're getting better sleep. Submit a home run highlight. Dee Hankins wants to hear from the audience that listens to this, okay? So visit www.dhankins.com/podcast. And I can't wait to hear from y'all. All right, y'all. Remember, life throws curveballs, but even curveballs can be hit for home runs. I'll see y'all next week.